Welcome to another episode of The Culture. I'm Rachel Smith.
And I'm Christian Mattis. And on this episode, we're touching everything from the controversial death of rapper Nipsey Hussle
to the potential shoe deal of Zion Williamson.
Let's get into it with the roundtable.
Welcome to this edition of The Roundtable. My name is Landon Coles, and I'm joined by my co-host.
I'm Tayana Dix.
I'm Reese Pitts.
And I'm Olivia Sullivan.
Now let's dive right into it. We have the hip-hop world being devastated and shocked by the untimely death of rapper Nipsey Hussle. Let us first start by saying we issue our sincerest condolences to all affected family members. Now we see surrounding his death allegations and claims made particularly by the community of color that this was a conspiracy theory with his death being executed by that of the government. And we see allegations being made on the flip side that this was carried out by unnecessary gang violence. Let's talk.
Nipsey Hussle was an open gang member himself. The man who shot him was a gang member. This is obviously a case of gang violence, and I'm not sure why we're indulging in these conspiracy theories. We know that gang violence was not only an issue in his community, that's why he spent his life trying to eliminate it, but it's a huge issue in the black community. So instead of diddling in these crazy allegations against the government, we should focus on the real issue.
Right. I'm from Los Angeles, and growing up around that kind of environment, you learn how to navigate it and sort of be safe, and there is a heavy gang presence. So it's not unlikely at all that this was just a simple gang-related incident. However, by that same token, Nipsey Hussle was trying to get his life together. He was on track, he was doing his thing, and perhaps it can be a conspiracy. Who am I to rule it out?
I think the controversy arises that there's plenty of rappers and musicians affiliated with gangs, and they're not getting shot. But it seems whenever there's a person of color who's an icon in the rap community trying to do positive work, they're always sought out for.
And ultimately, let's frame this conversation. Nipsey Hussle's intent prior to his untimely death was to create a documentary about the well-known herbalist Dr. Sebi. And ultimately, what we're seeing around these allegations is that because he wanted to create this documentary, that is what led to his untimely death.
Oh, why we don't know about that?
Absolutely.
And
and he just died mysteriously down there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you know how they play.
Oh yeah.
You know, tweet me, Hustle, be careful, man. Your plane gonna go down. I say, niggas better ride for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't pray.
For me, I am not one to get decapacitated by emotions in times of hardship, but rather we should be strengthening our resolve as a community to fund different projects to continue to carry out Nipsey Hussle's legacy, as opposed to spouting these claims, these baseless claims, with no hopes of ever truly finding out whether they are true or not.
And it's sad that people are still being hurt as a result of gang violence, even after his death. At his visuals, more than a dozen were sent to the hospital in critical condition.
In other hip-hop news, a video resurfaced where Cardi B was talking about some of the things that she used to do in her past, which included drugging and stealing from men that were her clients at the time when she was an exotic dancer.
I had to go straight. I had to go, oh yeah, you wanna me? Yeah, let's go to this hotel. And I drop this up and I'll rob them.
What do you all think about that?
Well, ultimately, for me, it's a matter of ensuring that we hold everyone equally accountable across the board. Cardi B's actions were repulsive, and what we are seeing from her fan base is extending this kind of courtesy and these excuses, ultimately to try to turn a blind eye to her actions. And for me, just because she owned that truth does not necessarily mean that makes the truth any less horrific in its prose. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, I will hold Cardi B fully accountable for her actions the same way that we have in this era of the Me Too movement.
And she's being compared to R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, and rightfully so, because just as they took advantage of women in a sexual way, she took advantage of men in another way, a non-sexual way. And just because she's a woman, she should not escape her crimes.
Well, I think the difference between R. Kelly and Bill Cosby versus Cardi B is that she was doing it for financial gain. She talked about how she struggled as a young adolescent, and that was her only means of making money to support herself. Whereas Bill Cosby and R. Kelly were just doing it just to dominate women. So I think that difference is important to make.
And ultimately, too, let's just dive right back into it. Regardless of whether it was sexual and or non-sexual, the commonality between the two was that ultimately she was taking things from people without their permission. And unfortunately, that is all the time we have. Thank you for joining us on this edition of The Roundtable.
On a lighter note, the African Student Union here at the University of Miami blew us all away with their annual fashion show, Elements, and we were there to catch all the looks.
For the past 4 years, the African Student Union has put on a fashion show that highlights African clothes and culture. Each year, the student-run organization chooses a theme that highlights all that Africa has to offer. This year's theme, Elements, includes walks that showcase the physical elements, fire, earth, air, and water, as well as social elements, passion, strength, happiness, and relaxation. For months, ASU's Fashion Show Committee planned out everything needed for the day of show, including reaching out to designers, vendors, and selecting which models will walk in the show. The show had 5 walks that ranged from swimsuit to ball gown, and even had a competition walk that allowed 2 audience members to be in next year's show. And just like that, Fashion Show is officially over. Reporting live from the Alumni Center, this is Kayla Foster, and you're watching 305 to My City.
Those were some fire looks on the runway, but here's what's going on the red carpet. Stay tuned for Hella Shade.
Welcome back to Hella Shade. I'm Aisha Thornton.
And I'm Joshua Coates.
And we're back with more shade, more mess, and more tea, starting off with Queen B.
All hail the Queen. What's up with Beyonce?
So we had the NAACP Awards recently, and we had Omari Hardwick, a.k.a. Ghost from Power, roll up on B and not kiss her once, but kiss her twice. He definitely kissed Queen a few seconds apart, and he got a little bit close to her lips. He's lucky that Jay didn't step.
What was he going to do? He was cheating on Beyonce like 3 years ago.
Well, 50 Cent said we need to tune into the next season of Power because he's going to have Jay kill Ghost.
I mean, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be watching.
But speaking of B, did you see her at Auntie Diana Ross's party?
I did. She was hitting all those notes saying happy birthday. Where can I book a performance for my 21st?
It's never going to happen. But would the party be complete if we didn't have the Culture Vultures roll up? We had Khloe Kardashian in that matted Kankalon wig, whatever it was.
Honestly, they are in the wrong place at the wrong time, and no one asked for them.
I don't even know why Auntie Diana let them stroll up on stage and do that stiff little dance. What Khloe should be doing is in the house worried about why Tristan is not talking to her or True.
That's tea.
But speaking, summer's coming up, and Gucci has a little bit of summer body motivation for it.
You can do it if I can do it. Use me for inspiration. Because I'm seeing a lot of y'all, man, y'all look terrible.
You so fine, you blow my mind.
I'm so fine, I blow everybody's mind.
Only my mind.
Well, Gucci said he see us looking out here and we look terrible. So basically we need to get those waist snatch, arms swole. We need to be built this summer.
He said we look dusty, crusty, and some of us a little bit musty.
You look dusty, your hair's uneven, and you're really not that cute according to Gucci. But that's all the time we have for today at Hella Shade.
Welcome to The Goulash. I'm Jada.
I'm JL.
And I'm Iris. And here on The Goulash, we want to highlight the beauty that is Black culture.
Yes. So for this episode, we put a few intelligent UM students to the test.
Yes, we took to the campus to ask some Black history trivia questions. Let's see how it went.
Hi, I'm Jada, and I'm here with...
Jake.
And I'm asking Jake some Black history trivia questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
How do you think it's gonna go?
We'll see. I'm not very good at trivia, so.
All right, let's get into it.
What year did Martin Luther King Jr. visit the University of Miami campus? Was it A, 1970, B, 1966, C, 1968, or D, 1964?
It was 1964.
I'm gonna go with 1966.
1966.
Is that your final answer? That's the right answer. You got it right.
I was very confident about that answer because I just know my stuff. I'm okay. I love that guy.
He actually delivered a really cool speech here about the church's involvement with the civil rights movement. Fun fact. At its height, what was the slave population in the United States? About 2 million, 500,000, 4 million, or 1 million?
Can I call a friend?
2 million? I think 2 million.
I'm gonna go with 2 million.
That's a good guess. However, 2 million off, it was 4 million. Who is the first Major League Baseball player that was Black? Satchel Paige, Larry Doby, Ernie Banks, or Jackie Robinson?
I'm gonna say Satchel Paige, but it might be Jackie Robinson. I'm gonna say Satchel Paige.
Is it Jackie Robinson?
Jackie Robinson.
Okay, see, I know one. We're here with it.
What was the year that the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery was ratified? Was it A, 1872, B, 1862, C, 1867, or D, 1865?
1865.
The correct answer is D, 1865. But it's okay, you had a good run.
All right, 2 out of 4, but guess what? You still get a lollipop. Thank you so much for playing with us.
Strive for 100, but it's fine. It's fine.
But yeah.
It's cool.
She's a winner in my book.
And it's watermelon.
Speaking of trivia, here's a Black History fact. Willie Thoreau was the first Black NFL quarterback in 1953. For more sports news, stay tuned for Athletic Aesthetic.
Welcome back to Athletic Aesthetic. I'm Morgan Threed. A recent story hit close to home as former Canes football star and NFL legend Michael Irvin made a tweet detailing personal issues with his health. Irvin had problems with his throat, which prompted him to go to the doctor and get tested for what could possibly be throat cancer, which runs in the family. He shared that his father died from throat cancer when he was 51 years old, and Irvin is now 53, so I can completely understand his concerns. Irvin had the results come back as he prayed with his family, and they came back negative, thankfully. The larger point of this entire thing is that the results came back negative, and he was able to face his fear head on, something that I know that everyone is glad about. Moving into NCAA basketball, the seasons might be over for this star, but his professional career just started. Zion Williamson is looking for a shoe deal, something that all professional athletes have, right? But there's a couple factors that I didn't know were included. His social media account. Zion has over 3 million followers on social media, and this is something that companies are definitely taking account. Also making a buzz in social media, it was Honcho Day, and who was there? Colin Kaepernick. Quavo definitely wanted him on his team to make a big statement to the entire world, which I think he did. I think that it's pretty cool that he's still out here showing support to the entire community. Well, that's all the time that we have now. Until next time, I'm Morgan Threed, and thanks for watching Athletic Aesthetic.
Congratulations, you've made it to the end of the show.
But before we leave, we want to give you a Black History fact.
On March 2nd, 1955, 15-year-old Claudette Colvin was riding a city bus home when a white passenger boarded. The bus driver demanded Claudette to give up her seat, and she refused. Later, she told Newsweek, "I felt like Sojourner Truth was pushing down on one shoulder and Harriet Tubman was pushing down on the other."
But before you go, make sure you follow us on our social media handles displayed on the bottom of the screen.
Until next time, I'm Rachel Smith.
And I'm Krishan Mattis.